today I wanted to have a chat with you guys about relationships. And I mean, I think people think, when you think of a relationship, like not just dating, like a really serious romantic relationship, but I think with relationships, so many different things come under that banner, like friendships, you know, parents, family. What do you guys miss the most about like human touch, whether that's a romance or just like your mum?
A hug. I just miss a hug. I'm a huggy person.
This is probably going to sound strange coming from me, but I miss a night out. Like, I know I usually say, like, oh, I can't be bothered for a night out or anything like that. But it's like the experience of a night out, like bumping into people on the dance floor, or like meeting new people in the smoking area and never talking to them again.
I miss meeting new people more than anything. Like meeting new people and actually interacting with them. I've been working different jobs personally, and I've been meeting loads of people through the computer, and it's weird. It's not the same, and I miss that. You take it all for granted, don't you?
With the dating side of relationships, I mean, I went into lockdown 1, lockdown 2, and lockdown 3 and 4 single. So, you know, everyone was saying to me, are you going to get on Hinge now, Tinder? And I just like hate talking to people through like text and stuff. And it's just, especially now, all we ever do is talk to our friends and our family and our work people through text and Zoom. It's like, oh, what, now I've got to make an effort to kind of find a husband through text and Zoom and Hinge. Like, it's just exhausting.
I was like in a relationship between lockdown 1 and 2, and it just came to like a end at lockdown 2 because there was just no consistency, and I've got responsibilities, he had responsibilities, and it was unfair to like my family to carry on because I live with them, and I've got like my elderly grandparents who are in our bubble, but then his child was at school who was enlarging that bubble massively. It just all made it really, really difficult, and it just took the fire, the spice out of it instantly when we had to talk about that kind of thing. And we were just like, should we just call it a day and see if we find each other again?
Oh my God, it's so tiring. Like I cannot be bothered making conversation when you don't know when you're actually going to meet, because it just exhausts the conversation before you even get a chance to meet each other. I'm using the time to focus on me, the most important person.
I feel a bit like, oh my gosh, my time's ticking, you know, I'm not getting any younger. And definitely the start of lockdown 1, I was really kind of like, oh my God, this is just taking a whole year of my life away for me to like find someone and settle down and then have kids. And I was like adding it all up in my like head. And I was like, right, now I'm going to be like even 2 years older than I would have been, because where am I going to find them in a lockdown?
So true. Like, I don't think people talk about that enough, that we, like in our kind of age group, are missing such a huge chunk that is usually pretty crucial to develop relationships that, you know, kind of guide where your life is going to go in the future.
I've never felt like the clock was ticking before, but now that year's been taken away from me, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if another one's taken? What's going to happen then? But I wonder if after everyone's got the jabs and stuff, it's going to be like, how do I put it politely?
What have you heard, guys, that people have been using to date? Because my friends, a couple of them have actually found boyfriends in lockdown.
My friends are all just using Hinge and Bumble. Hinge has been doing bits for a lot of people, but it just depends on the kind of person you are, I guess.
A lot of people that I know have done the whole kind of engaged or babies thing in lockdown. There's been a lot of that.
How many?
And I'm like, that's not helping my self-esteem at all. But I dabbled with a dating app, just, you know, after a breakup, you're like, let me just see what else is out there, just make myself feel better. And without wanting to sound big-headed, I was getting so much that I turned it off because I was like, I can't deal with all of this because I can't keep up, and it's never been like that before. But I think the lockdown, whether people are bored, I don't know, or whether they're thinking, oh my gosh, this time's been taken away from me, I'm not snogging girls in clubs, like what's going on? But I do think a lot of people have been turning to it for comfort. I don't know if they've been turning to it for a relationship. It's just someone to talk to.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if like, because of the pandemic, people have gone to those apps for like different things, like something like more of a connection with other people. Because I've like, the only app that I've always gone on is Tinder. And I've sort of labelled on my mind now for people that just want, you know, nudes and stuff like that. There's like, I've never found someone on there that just wants to like, you know, have a chat with me and like get to know me and stuff like that.
Ellis, you live on your own like me, don't you?
Yes.
So how have you found that? Have you found you've built a bit of, you know, a new relationship with #yourself?
Definitely, 100%. Absolutely love it. I was going to say absolutely love myself, but that sounds a bit big-headed. But no,
No, go for it.
I've sort of, through the pandemic, I've sort of learned how to live by myself and I got used to it. So it's got to that point now where it's like, I'm happy being by myself and it's like, I'm not going to bother looking to be with someone for a long time now because I've settled in being with myself and it's a wonderful time. I totally recommend it, to be honest with you.
I think even though the lockdown has had so many bad things, obviously, but it has also maybe made people, or maybe I'm just speaking for me, but just start to like yourself more, because we are the only people we've had to spend 24/7 with, locked in our own rooms, in our own houses. The only people you can hang out with has been ourselves. So it's definitely made me kind of enjoy my own company more.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been using this time, like I said, to kind of focus on me, and it sounds so spiritual and deep, yeah. But I genuinely feel like I've learned loads about myself
in this lockdown as well. I really, really miss, and love my parents, love my family, my nan, but I've just so missed my friends. Yeah. And I think when you're young, I do see my friends like my family, and I just love being around them and just having a laugh. And I think, I do share a lot more with my friends because, I mean, you can't tell your mum everything, can you? So, God, that's what I've missed the most. And that's probably what I've struggled with the most is like not being able to see my girls.
Yeah, missing those, like the traditions that you have with your friends, the kind of things that you'd always do together. Like this was the first New Year's Eve that it's just been that I haven't spent with my friend of like 8 years. It's the first one and it was gutting. And, all those little things that I would normally do with them, or just drive around theirs for the Friday night or whatever it might be. And yeah, you can have the FaceTime calls, you can have the Zooms, but actually catching up with them on the sofa, having a Chinese, going through your Bumble or whatever it is, it's just not the same on FaceTime. And I'm never going to say no to plans again. That's what I'm saying. I'm never saying no to plans again because I miss it so much.
Over FaceTime like this, it's just not the same because you just want to catch people. You want to, just muck about with them, like have sleepovers with them, It's just not the same, is it?
The vibe is not the same.
No, literally.
We can all agree that life lesson we've learned in lockdown, the most important relationship is with ourselves. So do you have any little self-love tips?
I've got one that's quite useful, right? And I've been telling this to everyone, all my friends. You guys are going to get it now, right? If you're texting anyone, talking to anyone, and you're wondering why they're saying or not saying anything, just remember, if they wanted to reply, they would. A no reply is a reply.
Especially in lockdown. Oh, I was busy. Doing what? Doing what? Exactly.
There's never an
Yes,
it's not that into you.
No, exactly. That's true. Let go of the toxic people and focus on yourself, because don't try and hang on to somebody who doesn't want you to hang on to them. So I'm vibing off of marriage. I'm just ad-libbing onto it.
Life's too short, Don't waste it on the toxic people.
Sure.
Yes, exactly. Life's too short to be hating yourself as well.
Amen. And on that note, I'm going to go and cook my pasta.